We have liberated ourselves. We have assumed full, undivided responsibility for our lives. We are the architects of our destiny. Yet, this autonomy presents us with the next critical test. What good is the command over your ship if the compass is shattered and the sea chart is riddled with lies? Your greatest threat now is not a lack of discipline. It is the lack of clarity in a world programmed to inundate you with disinformation. If you are making the decisions, you must know which information is truth and which is merely noise. We live in the epidemic of noise. Everyone can say anything, and everyone has an agenda. The Machiavellians of yesterday and today work constantly to keep the waters murky. The goal of the noise isn't to sell you a specific lie. It is to burn you out until you surrender and say, "I don't know anymore, you tell me." That is the moment autonomy dies and you willingly retreat into the self-chosen illusion of simplicity. The powerful do not want you to lead a free and self-determined life because anyone who achieves this state removes themselves from their control. This is why you are confronted with manipulation, brainwashing, and propaganda from cradle to grave, ensuring you don't break ranks, and instead chase fabricated dreams your entire life. The growth philosopher must resist this exhaustion strategy. You need a truth filter system. To filter the noise, we turn to epistemology, the philosophical theory of knowledge. It asks, what is knowledge and how do we know that we know? The philosopher's goal is not to consume more information, but to radically improve the quality of the information consumed. If you bear full responsibility for your life, you have a moral duty to base your decisions on the clearest possible reality. A Stoic knows your judgments are your control. Poor judgments based on poor information inevitably lead to unnecessary suffering. Before we reach the first filter, we embrace radical doubt. The Stoic first views every incoming piece of information as a neutral sensory impression, a fantasia. They withhold judgment. Imagine your mind is like that TV show with Jonathan Frakes. In every episode, you're presented with 3 stories. 1 is true, 2 are fabricated. This is your first unconscious filter. Do not accept anything sent to you as truth. Accept it as a hypothesis that requires your active testing. Train yourself to pause during any strong emotional reaction to information and ask, is this true or is this just a story? The first active filter, the authority check, or the source filter. In the modern world, we often grant authority to experts because it is convenient. The mistake the growth philosopher must avoid, conflating the person with the method. Today, studies are constantly cited to supposedly demonstrate or prove something. The clear-minded growth philosopher must ask, who funded this study? Always follow the money first to truly evaluate anything. If the methodology is not transparent, if the evidence is lacking, and if the funding source has a clear vested interest in the result, the source, no matter how famous, is worthless to you. This protects you from intellectual dependence. Crucially, you must not believe news unchecked, as it is often published with power or capital-specific intentions. False information about alleged nuclear weapons in a country is spread simply to instill fear and justify an attack. Or false information about companies is disseminated to manipulate stock prices in a desired direction. This is why you must always ask the most vital filtering question. ¿Hue bono? Or, who profits from this? Furthermore, in professional life, the hamster wheel is sold to you as a career ladder from the inside. They construct an artificial dream of status and titles so you won't question the method of control. If the source sells you anger, fear, or quick, simple answers, it has no interest in your autonomy. It only wants to make you a means to an end again. The second filter, the coherence check or the consistency filter. Here, you compare the new information with your confirmed knowledge base, your consistent worldview. This filter demands that you have already built an inner, logical foundation. The question is, does this claim demonstrably contradict established facts or fundamental laws of nature? We must distinguish between two things, ambiguity and contradiction. Ambiguity is complex but true. Contradiction is simple but false. If a piece of information is too simple to be true and contradicts all previous experience, it is noise, not wisdom. An autonomous thinker does not live in binary extremes, which are easy to control. If a piece of information tries to force you to immediately choose black or white, that is a red flag for propaganda. The consistency check teaches you to search for the third way, the path that acknowledges complexity. Your own reality is a web of shades of gray. Information that seeks to tear this web with simple, garish colors is almost always designed to divide you, not to inform you. Remain in the gray zone of truth. The third and ultimate filter is the pragmatic check, the application filter, modeled after the Stoics. This is the hardest test. What practical consequences does this information have for my controllable reality? A Stoic asks, does this knowledge serve the improvement of my virtue, my self-governance, and my inner peace? Or does it merely fuel fear, anger, and worry about things I cannot change? If the knowledge only serves to depress or distract you, then, even if it is technically true, it is irrelevant to your path as a growth philosopher. The pragmatic check is the dividing line between noise and tool. News about a global crisis that you cannot directly influence is noise. Knowledge about how to better structure your finances in an uncertain climate is a tool. Gossip about another person is noise. Knowledge about a cognitive bias that you can apply to your own thinking is a tool. Your focus must be on the tool. Everything else is just a convenient way to avoid responsibility. Your mind is your sovereign territory. The application of these three filters is mental hygiene. It is a daily practice to keep your thinking as sharp and clear as possible. With every filter, you say no to potential manipulation and strengthen your autonomous self. Truth is rarely spectacular. It is usually boring, complex, and hard to find. But it is the only foundation upon which a fulfilling and self-determined life can be built. Liberation from manipulation is only the first step. The construction of your own well-founded reality is the second. You are now the architect. Use the authority check, the coherence check, and the pragmatic check to free your blueprint of truth from the false narratives of the world. Stop searching for simple answers. Search for better questions and more solid methods. This is the path of the growth philosopher. This is the skill that truly makes you immune. Which of the three filters will you apply first today, to the news, or your inner beliefs? Share your observation, because shared application strengthens the clarity of the entire community. The journey to clarity is the journey to true power. We will see you in the next video. It is never too late to start making your own decisions and take control of your life. Be no fool. Don't let yourself be manipulated and start leading a self-determined life. Until next time, keep your eyes and ears open and your mind clear and sharp, and do not let yourself be manipulated.